Excellent. What's it like living there?
It's lovely, actually. Yeah.
Normally, it takes about 10 minutes for alcohol to start working on your brain and weakening the power of the frontal lobe. And already this evening, the loss of inhibition is starting to show.
Sober, I'd probably sit back and think, oh, I don't need to say that, it's not necessary, they're all talking. And whereas drunk, I'd, you know, want to shout it and, you know, listen to me, I've got this to say.
I'll be more inclined to flirt with somebody if I've had a few, definitely. So I more often than not, don't have the confidence to go up to somebody sober.
The flirting will get more intense once alcohol begins to affect the hormones. But for now, other changes are more obvious, like coordination. After about 5 drinks, alcohol starts to slow down nerve activity in the cerebellum, the bit of the brain that looks after your dexterity.
Is this going to work?
But how soon any part of the brain is affected depends on whether you're male or female.
Oh, I'm pulling them out.
And the reason for that goes beyond the fact that women are generally smaller. To help explain what's going on, I've been matched with Gemma.
That's what we have to do.
Gemma and I have a lot in common.
We're more or less the same height, we're the same weight, and we share a passion for tequila. And she's been matching me shot for shot all evening. Now we're putting our hand-eye coordination to the test.
You need the skills that come with a few tequilas to get this game absolutely tamed.
Oh, you're still a level ahead of me.
Don't fret, but you're going to lose, I promise you.
Women feel the effects of alcohol faster than men for 2 reasons. First, men carry more of an enzyme which destroys alcohol in the stomach, so less of the alcohol I drink actually gets into my bloodstream.
Another crucial difference between us is fat. As a reasonably fit male, about 20% of my body is fat, whereas Gemma is carrying about 30%.
This difference in fat is important because alcohol will infiltrate every part of the body that has water in it, which means every part of the body but the fat. So even though we're the same weight, more of my body is able to dilute the booze, with the result that my brain and body are less affected than Gemma's.
Why isn't that coming out?
But the best test is the breathalyzer. The legal limit for driving is 0.35 milligrams per litre of breath.
Sample taken. Oh. 0.28. 0.29.
Oh,
0.29. 0.29. Okay.
So technically, I'm still legal to drive.
Okay, so
let's test. Let's test you. Okay, I was 0.29. Let's see what you are. Oh my God! 0.44445. 0.46. 0.46.
0.46.
So that's a fantastic difference, isn't it?
That's nearly. Oh, it's like.
It's a huge amount. Whatever it is,
Double,
it's much more.
kinda.
It's gone midnight, and after 3 pints, 3 shots, and a couple of glasses of champagne, the alcohol has definitely started work on the hormones.
I seem to bug it up I think my motor neuron skills have finally peaked.
What's curious is that the effects show up first in the women.
We know now when I'm getting drunk, because all of a sudden I start wiggling my hips and thinking I'm some dancing diva, and I'm just dreadful, I'm sure.
Testosterone regulates sex drive and aggression in both men and women. So the first surprise is that despite the changes in men's behaviour, alcohol is only having a small effect on their testosterone levels. If anything, they're experiencing a slight drop. After just 2 or 3 drinks, though, female testosterone levels start soaring. And by this time in the evening, they've not just doubled or tripled, they've gone up 4 or 5 times. So not only do the women feel hornier, they're much more likely to let it show. Men always have this much testosterone in their systems, even when they're sober. It's just that they've learned to keep their urges largely under control. But alcohol eats away at that self-control and makes men more impulsive. And by this time, it's also hit the limbic system, where we generate our more primitive emotions.
By 10 o'clock, you've got the horn, and you start losing the conversation of what you're talking about, and your eyes just... usually on the barmaid, which is really quite embarrassing because they're getting younger and younger as we get older and older.
Scientists have actually shown that when you're drunk, the faces of the opposite sex appear 25% more attractive than when you're sober.
That must be why I get chatted up about 10:30 in the whole beer goggles stages. I must be on the 10:30 one, which is probably the 8 pints.
I think women are just the same after they've had a few beers or drinks. I mean, they lower their standards too.
That's true. Otherwise, none of us would ever have got laid.
Well, I'm feeling supremely confident now, so I think it's time for a challenge. Gemma? He's not paying any attention. But I've got a superb challenge. Check it out.
After 14 shots, the room's not spinning yet, but the alcohol has virtually finished off my cerebellum.
Here goes. 5 meters, 4 inches, no problem.
Keeping balance depends on a number of different things. Even though bones and joints are not affected by alcohol themselves, without help from the cerebellum, they're not coordinated with quite the same finesse. And the fact that my hand-eye coordination is now completely up the spout as well means that although I can see where the beam is quite clearly, that's not where my feet end up.
How about that?
Oh my God, you look like a right idiot.
Really?
When a man drinks more than 4 pints or a woman drinks more than 3, officially it qualifies as a binge. The main reason binge drinking is thought to be dangerous is that total loss of inhibitions mixed with powerful emotions can have seriously unwelcome effects. Every year, 20,000 people behave so badly when they're drunk that they get arrested. 13,000 get into drunken fights, and around 600 people are murdered while either they or their attacker is under the influence. But alcohol is a particularly insidious drug because of the way it first draws you in and then makes your body depend on it as a vital fluid. Alcohol is more physically addictive than most illegal drugs. If you take the coke away from a regular user, they may feel bad, but they'll survive. But if you take the booze away from an alcoholic who's drinking 2 bottles of spirits a day, the sudden increase in brain activity could make them fit, and they may even die.
The whole social outlet in this country is booze. That's the centre of it all. Our drug of choice is liquid-based.
Probably just not remembering things the next day, like 3 hours of your night are missing. I mean, it must be pretty horrendous what you're doing to your body if you can't remember 3 hours of your evening.
20% of all people in their late 20s and early 30s have physical or psychological problems with alcohol. And the incidence of liver cirrhosis in this age group has tripled since the 1970s.
You get to a point of 4 or 5 pints and you're flying and you're happy and everyone's great. And you think, if you continue, your stupid alcoholic brain is telling you, if you continue to drink this shit, you will remain at that level. But after years of field work in this, the answer is no. You end up being a complete twat.